It's Christmas! Hello and welcome to the third Retrospectors Quiz of the year, our annual opportunity to determine whether Arion or Rebecca has the best memory retention for marginal facts.
It's Rebecca. I just want to say that right up front.
You did this whole mock kind of embarrassed.
It wasn't mock.
I'm not going to win stuff last year.
It's true.
And I fell into the trap.
And then he won.
Well, I did on a technicality, which was, I think Matt added all the scores up wrong and potentially in my favour.
That's just what I said.
Yeah.
We should say an extra special hello as well to those of you who are listening via Club Retrospectors on Patreon or Apple Podcasts.
Yes. Hi, special people whom we love more than... We love all of you equally, but some of you we love even more equally.
Yeah, more equally than others. I mean, if you have enjoyed the show this year and you're not already a member of Club Retrospectors, please consider joining. You get all kinds of freebies. Arion, do you want to list some of them?
Yeah, you get Sunday episodes a year ahead of anyone else, so you're getting premiere content before anyone else sees it. You're also getting little extra bits that don't make the cut week to week.
But not because
they're
bad.
they're obviously
Because they're
very
things
good.
Arion read about. They're tangentially related to what we're discussing.
Or they're a little bit facty light, they're sort of factish without being totally facty.
And you get an ad-free feed.
Yes, absolutely zero ads.
So if that sounds like a good idea, because it is, then join Club Retrospectors now. You can do that on Apple Podcasts or Patreon, and there's a 7-day free trial.
Sweet.
So, you can get in there right now for free. Exactly. Unlock a year's worth of extra content and then decide if you want to pay us, which you should.
Yeah, see how much you can binge in 7 days. But I'm willing to bet not all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a bit like a box of chocolates, isn't it? It's just too much. Patreon.com/retrospectors for that. And I should say, especially, hello to Elise, Simon, Ed and Paul, who are 4 patrons who declared on there when I asked, because you get social posts from us sometimes too, who has listened to every episode we've ever done.
Whoa.
Which not even, I don't think I've done.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
All 4 of them have, and Elise said she listens to us at 0.7 speed, so she can listen as she winds down in the evening.
Whoa.
Wow, I've never heard of anyone listening to a podcast on a slower speed.
Yeah, that's a pro tip, isn't it?
It's though I have too much time in my life.
I wonder if you speed up stuff you missed in history class and then slow us down, you get the same podcast.
Yeah.
Well, before we go any further, by the way, I need to stop the whole sort of procedural...
Oh, he's brought out the expensive booze
He's
again.
brought out the dirty cool bag, and inside the relatively
well
clean.
worn.
Beautiful bottle of newsagent Prosecco.
Yeah, it's still screw top. So there's one for you.
Thank you. For legal reasons, they can't call it Prosecco.
It's so clever, though, isn't it? How they make a screw top, not Prosecco, look like Prosecco, like it's got the gold top and it's even got the indentation.
Yeah. I wasn't able to get 4 bottles of Prospero this year. So, Matt, I'm afraid you got actual Prosecco, which,
I think for a
helps.
producer, that
does
right.
seem appropriate.
Yeah.
So
he
gets that,
work.
but we get to revisit the joys of Prospero.
It did the trick last year.
It certainly did.
Cheers.
Congratulations. Happy Christmas.
Cheers.
And actually,
Cheers.
Happy Christmas.
congratulations are in order for you, Arion, because you're moving back to your motherland.
Yes, is that congratulations? I would have thought that you would have engaged in some sort of commiseration.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Related
We're all devastated,
banterousness.
obviously. But you're going to Australia.
That's right. And I will be moving there. I expect a national day of mourning to mark the event. Everyone must weep copiously and wear black. But for now, let's party. That's the future.
We should say it will make no difference to you guys. Arion will still be on the show next year.
This is true.
Because being remote down the line in Sydney is actually technically the same as being in Surrey.
I just wonder whether Prospero is available in Sydney. I haven't
problem.
researched this.
You're going to have it shipped.
It's worse than I remembered.
You'll be the only person ever to import Prospero to Sydney. Right, looking back on the year then, just before we get on with the quiz, any highlights from a year of retrospecting?
I think my favourite episode we did this year was about Vicky Jones, the Aretha Franklin impersonator.
Absolute classic.
Just because, it's an incredible story. B, I cannot believe this was happening, not in the medieval times. This happened in 1969, that this woman who didn't really look like Aretha Franklin and had a decent voice, but not Aretha's voice, was able to fool potentially thousands of people,
Do you know, we're going to be running our favourite episodes of the year next week, so I think that should be yours.
I think that will be mine.
It is a fantastic story if you you miss it. Do come back next week to hear that. Arion?
I had a favourite bit of feedback, or more like your reaction to the feedback, actually. There was someone on Reddit had asked for recommendations for history podcasts that had to be British. And I was like, well, this surely has to include us. And sure enough, someone recommended us with this damning by faint praise recommendation. They said, it's not very funny, but it's consistent.
It's good enough for me.
And I took to our WhatsApp group where it had been shared, and I was like, oh, guys, this is how we've been received. And your reaction was, fair comment, ! And then you moved on with your life. And it really made me feel...
has that really dug into you?
No, it just made me... I just had this moment where I was like, I just think I can grow as a person. I think that I can take things less seriously, and I got to be a bit more man. So there was a learning that I took from
it. It's not
it.
that I let the criticism sort of rub off my shoulders. It's that genuinely in life, one of my goals is to be sustainable and consistent.
A solid 7 out of 10.
Always very humorous.
Highlight for me was that I went to Fishguard on holiday, location of the last invasion of Britain, as regular listeners will know.
Oh, yeah.
They have a golden ale there called Jemima's Pitchfork, which is on tap. I had some.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
And I saw the table where they signed the agreement to not invade our country
Did you
anymore.
run a pike through any Frenchmen while you were there?
Well, yes, but that goes for any half-term break. And speaking of less than favourable reviews, here's my favourite one-starer of the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is from Coach Lacrosse from the United States, who listened to our episode, The Last Queen of Hawaii, and says, I thought this was going to be as good as History Daily, but listening to 3 British accents... I mean, already wrong on that one. Tell me how bad America was not enjoyable. Also, their rip on Fox News was pretty ridiculous considering all other cable news supports socialist communism.
Do you know what? I was a bit sympathetic to Lacrosse person, and it made me think that, I think American culture is so, we regard it as so our own that we think that we're allowed to lampoon it like we would lampoon Australia or Britain, but it's true. I can understand why.
No, the way they treated Hawaii was great. We should have definitely said that.
I was going to say, if they didn't want 3 podcasters to slightly poke fun at them, they shouldn't have colonised the island and turned it into sugar
Or
plantations.
at least not listen to the episode about the colonisation.
Or at least not listen to the episode.
By the way, I'm sure long-term listeners realise we talk plenty about Britain's colonisation of other countries.
This is true, yeah.
We've had some celeb engagement this year as well. So in 2021, Heimlich Jr., son of manoeuvre fame
That
man.
was great.
In 2022, Richard Bacon.
Yes.
Incredible.
In 2023, we had...
Just keeps getting better.
I think, in order of celebrity, Pierre Stromberg, exposer of the Kozo artifact.
Yes, important.
Yeah.
Right said Fred, who liked our episode on I'm Too Sexy, but have deleted the tweet since.
Oh, no.
Problematic.
Yeah.
And yet they haven't deleted all the
Are we
anti-vaccine
more
ones.
cancelled than they are? They think we're the problem?
We're too sexy for their tweet.
Right.
But I think genuinely quite impressive. Jamie Oliver. I mean, it's Jamie Oliver, the organisation, if
Yeah.
not the man.
It may have been him. He probably checks in from time to time.
And he wrote about himself in the third person, so if it was him...
That checks out. I
That
can see it.
probably, he is that famous.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do better than Jamie Oliver, but anyway,
good.
follow us on X and find out if we do. We're at Retrospectors HQ. Also, let's just do a few mistakes and clarifications. Dawn from Minnesota says the amusement park in the Mall of America was not Snoopy themed, it was Peanuts themed.
Well,
So let's remember it's called Camp
okay.
Snoopy.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable mistake to make. And Dr. Adam Rutherford from Radio 4 no less.
Yeah.
Who we have shared a stage with.
Yes, we have.
Yes,
Yes, we've platformed.
Yes.
He corrected us on our episode The Double Helix Quartet because that whole episode was pegged to the day that Watson and Crick went to the pub to tell people they discovered DNA. Now, the pub still makes that claim. There is a blue plaque outside. And the source was Watson's own memoir, The Double Helix. So I think it's a fair enough justification for the episode.
We did discuss how he was a notorious liar.
This is it. So
Shouldn't be
Rutherford
flag.
says a couple of years ago, Watson confessed to making the whole story up.
We should never have built up that Rutherford guy. We made him. And we should bring him down, if he's going to come at us like that.
Okay, are you ready for the quiz?
I am as ready as I was at the start of the year before I learnt anything.
Do you have the trophy?
I do, yes.
So last year you won a
it's
miniature
here.
trophy. It's out of scale with your body. That was funny.
Yeah, there is a development to the trophy which will be revealed.
You've
at the
appended to
point
the
at
trophy.
which I
Desecrated
hand
it.
it
I
I believe he's
over.
desecrated the trophy whilst in
let's-
possession of
You
the
did,
great...
to be fair, last year you did invite him to inscribe his name on
I
it.
see.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
look, let's come back to that because
Okay.
there has been movement
Okay.
on what the trophy was then and
What
is
could
now.
it be? Okay, so it's Arion versus Rebecca. It's a point per correct answer, but you will lose a point for a wrong answer. As is tradition, producer Matt has furnished us with sleigh bells that jingle in two different, distinctly identifiable ways. So Arion's, yours sounds like this, and Rebecca, your bells sound like this.
Even I can hear the difference.
Let's play the Retrospectors Quiz of the year. Question 1. As revealed in our episode When Bonnie Met Clyde, what was Clyde Barrow's first scrape with the law, age 17? What did he do? Rebecca.
I'm like not returning a hire car.
It was failing to return a stolen hire car.
Nice.
Fantastic achievement from your brain. For a bonus point, what was his second offence? It involved poultry. Rebecca?
It was something to do with stealing chickens.
Yeah, possession of stolen turkeys. He didn't steal them himself, but he possessed some stolen
I
turkeys.
feel like you gave her that one.
Well, you could have asked it.
I suppose I could have done.
Next question. As discussed in our episode It's a Royal Cock-Up, which of these stars did not appear in the Grand Knockout Tournament on the 19th of June 1987? Wayne Sleep, Steve Cram, Chris de Burgh, or John Travolta? Arion.
Travolta?
Travolta was in the Grand Knockout Tournament.
crikey.
Rebecca, would you like to steal it?
Yeah, Christopher.
Chris de Burgh was in the Grand Knockout Tournament. The correct answer was Wayne Sleep, who was
He just
not.
seems like such a
I know.
natural fit.
I'm proud of myself for writing that question. The tough, lean body of a man no longer young, beardless, breathless, but well hung, are lines from the opening verse of which 1977 poem? Buzz in when you know the answer. Arion.
It was the one about Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't called that, though. It's not an actual friend. The love that...
The love that should never be. The love that should be. The love that could.
Rebecca.
I could take it, but you've kind of
Go on,
given-
go on. You can take it.
It was like the love that dare not speak its name.
No, it was the love that dares to speak
Oh
its
yeah,
name.
this is the other one.
By James Kirkup, as discussed in our episode Blasphemy, which, interestingly, may have been illegal to broadcast, we were speculating about afterwards.
Yes, true.
Because I've just done it again. We quoted from a poem that it is technically illegal
Still
to
banned.
quote. Yes.
Yeah, I think we could have worse feedback than the fact that we're not that funny.
I think
from the actual justice.
By actually being arrested and going
Yeah.
to prison.
From Ofcom. Yeah. I don't know. I think the ghost of Mary Whitehouse is probably not coming after us. Who met her husband when she was 18 via an ad in a newspaper, then travelled to the Dutch West Indies with him?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Rebecca.
Marta Hari.
It is Mata. I mean, Rebecca's back on form, you have to say. That was
Well,
impressive.
I should say I feel like I've got a patriotic motivation because otherwise Arion will be taking the trophy to Australia, much like the Ashes. I want to
Just
keep
feeling
it in England.
The
yeah.
influence of this Prospero rather too keenly
Okay, you'll be pleased to know that the final round of round one,
is all Australian.
it's a game of numbers. So,
Okay.
Arion, you've got an opportunity here.
Okay.
All right. We're going to play your retrospectors right.
Okay.
As revealed in our episode Pokemon Hegemon, how many epileptic seizures were caused by Pokemon in December 1997? Arion.
7.
Rebecca.
900.
Okay, Rebecca was closest. It was 685. But was the next number higher or lower? As revealed in our episode Becoming Princess Grace, how many meters of lace were in Grace Kelly's wedding gown? Higher or lower than the number of epileptic seizures caused by watching Pokemon?
Lower.
Arion says lower.
Well, then I'll say higher.
It was lower, 274
Boom.
meters of lace in that wedding gown.
270. Okay, so if we're on 274 now.
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Thank
higher
you.
or lower?
Higher or lower? As discussed in our 4th of January episode, Let's Build the Burj. How many stories is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai? Higher or lower than 274? Rebecca.
It can't be higher, lower.
Lower. Arion, are you going to go higher just to mix things up?
how does the scoring work on this one? I'm going to say higher.
Fine. It was 160 stories, so it was lower. Well done, Rebecca. Our episode on Don Quixote got 7,200 views on YouTube Shorts. Our episode on whether or not Liszt was a hottie only got 167. But how many viewers did our video...
That's higher than 160.
Wait.
Higher.
How many viewers did our video The Night Bobbit Lost His Penis get? Clickbait if ever I saw it. Arian. Higher than 160. What do you say,
Well, I'll
Rebecca?
go lower. I play fair.
You're going to... The answer was high. We got 1,500 views for our Bobbit Cock content. And here's the final question in the round. How many grouse did Lord Walsingham shoot on the 30th
1,070.
of August, 1888? It was 1,070.
I helped you remember that
That was
earlier.
good. I mean, but you didn't say higher or lower so quickly.
Higher.
It is higher, yes. You get a double point for that. Well done.
Arian has 2. Rebecca has 4.
Wow.
Okay, all right.
Still
We
pretty
answer
tight.
so many questions and we have so few points.
I don't really know how the scoring system works.
All right, here's the Retrospectors Quiz of the Year, Part 2. It is all to play for.
All right.
What colour was 10 Downing Street when it was built? Arian.
Sort of yellowy brown.
It was yellow. It went black through pollution. Which song held off Wonderwall by Oasis and Free as a Bird by the Beatles from reaching UK number 1? Rebecca.
Sugar, sugar.
No.
Ah!
I'll give you a clue.
No more clues.
You okay?
Wind through my hair, man mooning at me
No
whilst I
more
make that
clues.
sound.
No more clues.
I actually don't know. I think I'm further from an answer.
It was performed at the Brit Awards. Rebecca.
Can I come back?
Oh,
Yes,
Earth
no,
Song.
no, Rebecca buzzed.
Oh,
I'm
man.
afraid it was Earth Song, as discussed in our Sunday episode when Jarvis met Jacko.
I'm not saying that it was a bad impression. It was wonderful now that I know.
No, you know.
If you'd mooned at us, we would have got it quicker.
If I mooned at you for the answer for the next one, it wouldn't help. David Cohen has written a 300-page book on the origin of what? This was your fun fact, Arian. It's from an episode about Roosevelt. And the food they served the king. Arian.
Hamburgers. Hot dogs. Hot
It
dogs.
was hot dogs. I don't know if you lose a point for
dogs.
hamburgers, though.
That's sort of,
Too
it's
keen.
in the same ballpark. I need to buzz, stop and think, and then
There you
answer.
go.
I think you
That's
should
what I
lose
do.
2. One for the wrong answer, one for then saying the right answer, which robbed me of the chance to jump in.
What, according to the Guinness Book of Records, became the largest antique ever sold on the 17th of April 1968? Arian.
A cruise liner.
No. It now resides in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Oh,
Rebecca.
London Bridge.
It was London
Yes.
Bridge, purchased by oil tycoon Robert P. McCulloch and relocated to Arizona, as discussed in our episode Let's Buy London Bridge. What song did DJ Woo Woo Ginsburg play repeatedly in his Boston radio show?
Oh, what was it? They set a world record. They tried to set a world record by playing it over and over again.
That's the question. What's the answer?
What were they doing? They were playing.
Rebecca.
Was this Sugar Sugar?
It wasn't, but you're so close.
Why do I keep
It's an
guessing
irritating bubblegum song that also has a title that
Honey,
are two
honey.
words that are the same. No.
That's what I said.
Oh, that's it. That's the
That's
one
just
you
the
were
second
doing.
bit.
Can I sing it without singing the words? Oh ho da ba da ba da ba 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 ba. Rebecca.
My Sharona.
Louis.
No.
Louis, well done, Arian. You got it.
That's what I was thinking. I just said the other one.
As discussed in our episode Scanning the First Barcode, the first supermarket to do the honours was Marsh in Troy, Ohio, on the 26th of June 1974. But what product was the first barcode printed
Juicy
on? Rebecca was in there first, and she can steal it from you.
It
I
was-
mean, you've got to be careful, Arian.
It was Wrigley's Juicy Fruit.
It was a packet of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit gum, which at the time cost, Arian, for a bonus point?
37 cents.
That's a really good guess. It was 67 cents. I'm not going to discount a point for that. As discussed in our episode, the Aussies who outswam the Soviets, why did the USA boycott the Olympic Games of 1980? Why weren't the Americans there? What have those
Cold
naughty
War.
Russians been doing?
Like they,
I think the Americans did later. Yes, Rebecca.
The Russians had invaded Afghanistan.
They had invaded Afghanistan.
Sorry, do you want me to take it in a less Johnny?
And finally, which episode this series had Rebecca accidentally not prepared, then busked her way through and nobody noticed?
Oh, yeah.
Buzz in when you know the answer.
I do know the answer, but I feel like I shouldn't.
Go on, tell people.
What was it? Yeah.
It was embarrassing to admit.
Yes, Rebecca.
The episode about the Tarzan film.
It
Oh, it was astonishing.
The episode when Tarzan went to Hollywood. Free feed listeners will hear it next year because it was a Sunday episode. It was amazing. We did the whole episode, and only afterwards did Rebecca reveal she was researching the topic as she spoke, like a real life chat GPT.
Well, and it was even weirder because she was managing to do the research while we were doing other shows.
Yeah.
Like just all like speaking on one subject while ingesting information about Tarzan.
It was a
with
mistake.
the other side of her
I
brain.
didn't realize I'd only done 5 episodes instead of 6 before we recorded. Then I was too embarrassed to tell you and waste everyone's time. So all I would say is don't listen to the episode and then go on the IMDb trivia page for that movie.
You may find certain verbatim elements.
Yeah, luckily it wasn't one about like Nazis or Romans. It was just a silly Hollywood meme. Anyway, yes. Let's find out who has won the Retrospectors Quiz of the Year 2023. Producer Matt, who gets the cup?
And the winner of the Retrospectors Quiz of the Year 2023 with an unassailable 7 points to 3 is Rebecca.
Of course.
Predictable, given that I don't think I answered anything correctly. But it does require the handing over of this incredible trophy.
Let's see.
Yes.
You'll now discover why my performance was so poor this year. It's because I don't want this thing anymore because my kid broke it.
No.
And look, so
Did
you know,
your kid break
have it.
or is that a convenient
I
scapegoat?
know I do feel quite sad.
But a super
about
glue,
it.
surely.
So, yeah,
It'll be
it probably
fine.
is quite fixable.
And you didn't inscribe your name on it,
I
despite
think
the fact
that's
Tipex
fine.
would do the job.
I don't plan on manhandling this, you know. I'm going to put this in a location where, you know.
I mean, would you mind putting my initials on it for the one and only year that I'm ever likely to win
I
this
think
thing?
you've left your mark on it by the fact that it's now broken in 2.
As far as I'm concerned, the important thing was that we didn't have to use the tie-break question. Why did Cat Bin Lady put the cat in a bin?
That's very existential.
It is.
It
We
is.
do have to be here for
It's
another
impossible to
year,
answer, yeah.
at least. It's the ultimate question. Thank you for listening. We hope you've had as much fun listening to the show this year as we had making it. And remember that you should keep listening because although it's Christmas, and have a happy Christmas, we're back next week with our best of 2023 episodes. And we're back this year for the first time ever from the 1st of January.
Yeah.
So
Join
remember,
us.
if it's a day, it's a day in history. I probably need to work on that slogan.
Great slogan.
But it's true. For 2024, we will finally have achieved, I think, an episode for every possible calendar date.
Wow, crikey.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We can all retire happy.
Make sure you keep refreshing your feed throughout the festive period, and we will see you on New Year's Day. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas,
Happy
Merry
Christmas,
New
Merry New
Year.
Year.
Sing backwards.